locked right here on your favorite gospel station.
From this moment.
Hey, radio listeners, this is Michelle Hyatt,
And this is Karim Hyatt,
host of Marriage in a Minute. Tune in every Saturday at 3:30 p.m. right here on Omega Radio Broadcasting Network for encouraging words on marriage.
And listen, guys, check out our new website, www.marriagevantagepoint.com. And remember, you are the MVP in your marriage.
From this moment.
All right, Omega Radio listeners, and right about now, we have none other than Karim and Michelle Hyatt here in the studio to come to you today with Marriage in a Minute. So go ahead and stay tuned in and stay locked in. The next voices you'll be hearing are the Hyatts with Marriage in a Minute.
Hey, you guys. We are having a great time this afternoon in studio today. So we decided on leaving the comfort of our home and just to come into the studio. It sounds so wonderful, crisp and clear in the studio. But anyway, it has been a great day. Man, we always talk about our Saturday mornings because Saturday mornings weren't always fun. But lately, they've been a really, really great. I had surgery on my knee. I'm running again. I'm playing a little bit of basketball again. Shouldn't be, though. But anyway, it's been wonderful. Just giving God thanks for health and strength. Get to do what we like to do, what we love to do. But anyway, again, it's here. Here we are, 3:30 Saturday. It is beautiful out. It's a little bit cool. So, but it's still great. I've got my husband with me, Karim Hyatt, Stay Married, Becoming One Flesh. He wrote that book, and he wrote it because of me. He was trying to become one flesh, and I was objecting. No, I'm kidding. But anyway, you guys, here we are. I think Bishop's going to say, Karim, that wife of yours. But anyway.
Where do I start now? Good afternoon, guys. Glad to be in the studio once again. We are really privileged. We're happy. We're joyful to come to you guys every week. So thank you for bearing with us and listening to us and supporting us on Omega Radio with Marriage in a Minute. We had a great morning. Kind of a little bit mash up right now with my body, but
He's stressed.
But we wouldn't trade it for the world. It's great to start the day with exercise, and it's a great day. But yes, we're here today once again, and we're encouraging you guys in your marriage. Lately we're seeing so many marriages have been hit with attacks, and the enemy is like just so he's not even hiding anymore. He's just playing out the plane. So we're here to tell you about the goodness of God and how He can combat the enemy, so to speak, if we surrender our marriages and follow what God says in marriage. That's the key to overcoming and being victorious in your marriage, no matter what the enemy tries. So today we're talking about the topic on the power in agreement. And the word unity. We also have disunity. And Amos 3 verse 3 says, can two walk together except they agree? That's a question in the Bible. Can two walk together unless they agree?
And that's our challenge. That's our question to every couple. I remember a friend of mine in church, not outside of church, not work, but in church, told me one Sunday that she is married but living single. And we should have done this show before, but I think it's a good time to do it today. But I think a lot of couples they're married, the rings on the finger, they've got a deed, they've got a mortgage, they've got cars in both names, and I think that's where it ends, right? So you've got the kids, you've got the ring on the finger, you've got the cars, you've got the mortgage, you've got all the bills, everything that's what's that word? That binds you together financially. You're in it together, but the living out the marriage, you're doing it separately. Yeah. And that's what we're talking about today, the power in agreement, living in agreement, looking like you're together, looking like the two are walking in agreement. And when we say this, we don't mean you can't have disagreements, because we do, and that's why you hear people say it all the time, agree to disagree. So that too is in agreement, because you're agreeing to disagree. Yeah. But today we just want to find out where your heart is. Does your heart even want to do life together. And as we were preparing, and man, it really hit me when we posed that question: does your heart really, is your heart in it? And if the answer is no, it's not a time for divorce. It's just taking stock of where you are.
Yeah.
And it's a good time to really look at your marriage and go, man, I know I'm in it financially. You're committed to the mortgage. You're not going to not commit. You're committed to the car payments. You're doing everything else together, but your heart, you're doing your own thing. He's doing his own thing. And it just seemed like you're kind of just giving up.
Yeah. And the thing is, if you think about it, marriage was created for you to have conflict. And that might sound funny or sound like it's not a right statement, but it was created for you to have conflict. Why? Because the conflict is what is going to pull you together when you work at the conflict. If it was just going to be a smooth sailing, smooth ride in marriage, you wouldn't need God. And that's the reason why God allows conflict. Because what conflict does is it allows you both to come together and fix what's broken, so to speak. I saw a phrase, a very old couple who were like married for hundreds of years, and they said
Hundreds.
Yeah, it appears that way, but yeah, they've been married for a long time. And it's a phrase they have that said, "We're from a time where if something is broken, you fix it, as opposed to throwing it away." And nowadays, people are just walking away from marriages left, right, and center when God created marriage for a life. And one of the segments I did a while back on divorce, I was talking about the fact that you have your mom, you have your brother, your sister, your in-laws. They're your family, but do you divorce them when things go wrong? So why do you divorce your spouse when you have a conflict, or you're in arguments and things are not right? You don't walk away, you fix it. And that's a part of the Christian journey in marriage also, to work at it to become one flesh. Because you're not one flesh, you're aiming to become one flesh. So that's what we're encouraging. Agree to disagree at times, yes, but you're still agreeing not to allow the hard times or the bad times to just break you apart, because God created marriage to be for life. Your relatives.
Right. And I think when my husband just said, I don't know if God created the conflict in the marriage, but I think what the verse in James talks about, that trouble will come, right?
That's
So
what
it's
that's what I
inevitable,
meant.
right? So
Yeah.
it's inevitable that trouble will come. But I think in the midst of giving God the glory, we choose, and these are choices that we're making, that we're saying we will choose to be on the side of the relationship and not the side of me or him, but being on the side of the relationship. And once the side of the relationship is being represented in our conversations and in our actions, I think it's a good point to make, to understand that we're not choosing flesh, right? We've got to pick up our cross daily and walk with it. So when the conflicts come, we've got to work them out. Like my husband said, I think it's just so easy. So we can't legalize the point that you can't get a divorce. We can't do that, because this is a heart issue. The Lord dictated how the marriage, the man and the woman should come together. So it's not going to be legal to say you can't get a divorce. It's a heart issue. So I think once we pounce on that or unpack that about it, it's from your heart, knowing that when you choose to get a divorce, if it's not legal issue or abusive issues or multiple infidelity or those kinds of things, and we understand those things, what they call for. But at the same token, I think we're seeing marriages are dissolving for irreconcilable differences. Like, what does that really mean? It just really means it's our way out. We're not getting along, so we're going to call it quits. And we don't want to go from the point where we're saying be in agreement. So, like my friend had said to me, I'm married but living single. What that means is my friend, my girlfriend, she's going out to dinner with her friends once a week, never with her husband.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay,
Right.
that is a thing that is intentional. So like my wife said, you are not feeling like things are going well in your marriage, and you start going out with a girlfriend or a guy friend on a dinner together, but then you use that as getting away from your spouse. So what that does is, instead of you building back what's going on that is not right, you use that time instead to step away from the marriage, so to speak, and it's not helping the marriage, it's only making it worse. So what we're saying is, the power in agreement is really just saying, fix the situation.
Right.
Do whatever it takes to get back on track, to get that common ground.
Right. And that's the thing. I think, and it's my opinion, that sometimes we get comfortable. Right. So you've got a bad situation. You've got something in your shoe that you've been walking around with, and the uncomfortable becomes your norm. Right. So you're walking around with maybe a penny in your shoe, and it feels uncomfortable. But if you take the penny out, right, your shoes is going to leak or something, right? So instead of fixing the leak, you get comfortable with saying, all right, that penny's holding up the hole. And I don't know if I'm, saying it the way it really deserves to be said, but you get comfortable. So what you do, you wear the shoe, and then you take it off, and you get a little bit of ease, but then you put it back on, you wear it, you take it off. So sometimes we get comfortable in when something's not going right, but we tend to get comfortable with the new norm, that this is how it's got to be. And what we're saying is, if you find yourself doing things, though you're married, but doing them single, you're going on vacation with your friends, he's going with his buddy, or you're going on a fishing trip or a golf trip or whatever. And like I said, those things are fine by itself if the marriage is not, the integrity of the marriage is strong. But if it's not, and you notice that, man, we're doing things separately, again, we're saying, hey, go to our website. Yeah. My husband says it nicely. I don't. What is it?
Before we give you the website, I just want to add something else. If you think about it, you step away from the marriage, you're by yourself. You're still going to have problems in life. If you step to somebody else, you're going to have
They're
problems
coming with their new issues.
So I think it's a deceptive thought to think that, my marriage is not working out well, so I'm going to go away and I'm going to get married again to somebody else, or I'm going to stay by myself.
You're going to trade her in, or you're going to trade him in.
Yeah, it's going to you're going to still have the same, possibly not the same exact.
They're going to show up with the same bad credit report.
Exactly. So,
and you got to deal with those things on the credit report, right?
Yeah. So it's better to work at the marriage and get things the way it used to be before, than to step away and start over, and only to end up in the same situation again. What that does is telling God that marriage cannot work, and God is saying marriage can work because He created it to work. So there are tools He gives us, and all we're encouraging you guys to do is to use those tools. Don't sit at home being married but single, so to speak. It's not going to get fixed by you just sitting. Faith without works is dead.
Yeah, and that's the point that I was making before about getting used to your new normal, because maybe something, it has been handed down to you, like, now this is the way it is. You're going your way, you're doing your thing, but you're still married, you're still committed. It's funny how people are committed to the mortgage company, that they make sure that the mortgage is paid every month, but you're not making sure that you're depositing anything into your wife or your husband every month or every day, every week. So it's almost like you see the tangible things, like, okay, so if I don't pay the mortgage, they'll take me out of the house. But you're out of the marriage. You're still there, right? So that you haven't been divorced, but you would rather commit to other things other than what makes the house now a home.
Yeah.
Right?
Yes, exactly. So, are you at that point? Do you feel like you're at that point right now? If you do, check out our website, www.marriagevantagepoint.com. That's www.marriagevantagepoint.com.
And there are tons of resources that,
yeah.
and that's what we were talking about before, that if you do feel like you're in that position where you're not, you're starting to get away with yourself, you're hanging out with other people other than your spouse and doing different things. And I think we want to continue on this next week, is that, listen, if you're at that point, be honest. This is a truth, a checkpoint in your marriage where you're like, where am I? Am I this person that we're talking about? And if you are, it's not a time for a divorce. It's just a point to say, man, let's reel it in.
Yes, amen.
So,
All right, guys, we're at the end of our program, and we thank you guys once again for listening
Thank
in
you.
to Marriage in a Minute. Join us next Saturday at the same time, 3:30 p.m. on Omega Radio Broadcasting Network. We love you
check
guys.
out the
We love your
website,
marriage.
resources.
Yes, and we're praying for every marriage. God
Amen.
bless you guys.
Have a great week, y'all.
All right, Omega Radio listeners, you were just tuned into Marriage in a Minute right here on Omega Radio. We want to say thank you so much to the Hyatts for being a proud sponsor towards Omega Radio. We truly are grateful for them. And of course, we want you to tune in next week, Saturday at the same time of 3:30 p.m. to hear them once again right here in the studio. So go ahead and stay locked in and stay tuned in. We have more lined up for you right here on Omega Radio.
From this moment.
Hey, radio listeners, this is Michelle Hyatt,
This is Karim Hyatt.
host of Marriage in a Minute. Tune in every Saturday at 3:30 p.m. right here on Omega Radio Broadcasting Network.